WrestleMania decisions are made, some popular, some definitely not very popular. Logan Paul and Kevin Owens continue their war of words. Some new faces elevate on SmackDown, and we're going to get into it now on the SmackDown Lowdown on the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel. Now, SmackDown started off with a Kevin Owens Logan Paul face-off, talking about their match at the Royal Rumble, where Kevin Owens got disqualified with using Logan Paul's brass knuckles, even though he technically didn't. Um, Long story short of this, it was just a promo segment where Logan Paul basically said that he wants better competition than Kevin Owens, and Owens' breath smells, and Owens responded to that by he bathed in prime. Make that what you will. It led to the first match actually of the evening on this one, which is of course Kevin Owens going one-on-one against Austin Theory, who had Grayson Waller at ringside. This was standard run-of-the-mill stuff that we're seeing at the moment on this one between these two. It's not the first time they've competed. It probably won't be the last. Kevin Owens picks up the victory after punching Theory with the brass knuckles. Again, we talk about Kevin Owens and we talk about Austin Theory and Grayson Waller and what's not really going on with them at the moment. They are very much in the mire a little bit where compared to where they were, or certainly compared to where Austin Theory was a year or so ago. Seems to be just moping around on SmackDown, doing pretty much nothing other than getting beat. It isn't good to see. But again, that was what Andy and Co was talking about previously when we spoke about this after the Rumble and he was getting buried. So after WrestleMania last year, they was getting buried a lot. And yeah, it just seems as if he still hasn't got over the John Cena beating Austin Theory on that one. Anyway, I said about new talents, and SmackDown have signed Naomi and Tiffany Stratton from NXT. Now, those are two good signs. Naomi coming back, obviously, from TNA Wrestling, returned at the Royal Rumble there. Tiffany Stratton was a great wrestler on NXT. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do. And she actually slapped Mia Yim in that segment as well, which I think puts on a match for later on. As Bianca was talking to Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, who was backstage, Logan interrupted that one and wanted, basically wants competition, which we will see what competition they're going to be getting. The next match was a good tag match. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate versus Pretty Deadly versus La Liga del Fantasma versus the LWO. The LWO had Selena Vega in the corner, and La Liga del Fantasma had Elektra Lopez from NXT in the corner. And this was a fatal four-way qualifying match for the tag team title opportunity. Really good match this. Really enjoyed it. Lots of good spots on this. What you can expect from these four teams. Just a really good contest on this, which was won by the Brits, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. They go on to the next round, whoever that may be against, to go and get an opportunity at the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. Bayley's WrestleMania decision was next, and this was interesting because we knew that where it was going. It was just how do they get there? And you know what? They done it quite well on this because Bayley was talking about, when she was in the locker room crying, she wanted Damage Control to be there and she wasn't. And then she has to decide whether she goes to one of the absolute bests and go for Rhea, or can she go down a different route and pick a different fight? Because it's not all about championships and titles. Sometimes it's more personal and it comes down to what's in your heart and proving people wrong. Interestingly, she starts talking Japanese at this point, which goes around full circle that Bayley knew what they were talking about when they were criticizing her behind her back. Obviously, we didn't see all of this, but that's how it plays out. The Kabuki Warriors attack Bayley, and then she fights back with a steel pipe, and they all exit the ring, Io and the Kabuki Warriors. As Bayley announces that at WrestleMania, she's going to see you, Io. Which is interesting. Dakota Kai wasn't a part of this. So where does her allegiance stand on this? Bayley and Io should be a great match. Bailey being face for the first time in 5 years. Well, interesting. Interesting on this one. There was going to be a match next, which was going to be Lashley and the Prophets versus the Final Testament, Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross. But everyone just went crazy. It all starts kicking off, and then all of a sudden, B-Fab comes out to the ring as well, hits Scarlett with a pump kick, and then Lashley speared Cross, and then they all went out, and that was really it. There wasn't the match; it just went crazy, which is interesting. We'll see how that one pans out. It's an interesting one. And they're good to see Authors of Pain back as well, finally. Obviously, Karrion Kross, we've mentioned it on here before, how great he is. He's just not getting the booking. And Lashley and the Street Profits just haven't got going because they were booked as heels, but the crowd loves it. It's interesting. Backstage at this point, Nick Aldis was negotiating a deal with Braun Breaker when Adam Pearce got in the way of it, and Braun says that he will see Adam Pearce on Monday. And as he does that, Jade Cargill walks into the office and asks if it's a good time to talk with Adam Pearce. That's Nick Aldis. Jesus Christ, he's GMs. And then they got rid of Adam Pearce. Lots of new additions. This is what we've been saying before, how things kind of felt stale and it needed a change. And it looks as if we're getting it now. These ones coming up from NXT, the new signings, picking brands. This is exactly the refresh that WWE needed. So interesting to see how that plays out and where Braun Breaker and Jade Cargill end up. We saw the debut of Tiffany Stratton next in a pinfall victory over Mia Yim. Again, that was a good competitive match, actually. It's a good one for Tiffany to have. Mia Yim, vastly experienced, can give you a good match, pretty much anybody. And she's probably a bit underutilized in the WWE. And she did come out with the OC as well on this. But yeah, the rolling stenton and the prettiest moonsault ever picks up the victory for Tiffany in this. And I mean, again, another one. It's great to see the refresh of the divisions happening. Really looking forward to this. And hopefully it works out. And we'll see where other people end up. Next week on SmackDown, you've got the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate will take on the winners of the Raw Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, which will be tonight. And the winners of that will go on to the Elimination Chamber to face Judgment Day for the titles. And next week, Nick Aldis will announce Logan Paul's next challenger. Now, on to the big one. Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania announcement, or whatever you want to call it. Roman comes to the ring, does all his usual spiel. Out comes Cody Rhodes. And basically Roman was saying, look, you can go for this second-rate title or you can come for the boss, basically. Now Cody comes out and he was saying how Seth Rollins made a lot of sense and how he agreed with most of it, but not everything, when he called the Roman's title the Hollywood title. But he did say to Roman, when he comes for him, he's not just going to take the title, he's taking everything. And he wants the title, he wants him, but not at WrestleMania. Because when he was talking to people about it, because he said he had spoken to legends and everything like that, there was one in particular legend that he spoke to, and Roman would know him very well. Out comes The Rock, and Cody hugs Cody. Cody leaves the ring. The Rock and Roman stare off to end SmackDown. So it seems that Cody Rhodes is going to be choosing Seth Rollins to go against at WrestleMania. The internet has blown up on this. We are going to talk about this a lot more this week when we do the Raw review a bit later on in the week. I want to get Andy's thoughts on it. So we're going to park this until the Raw review. So keep a lookout on the Raw review. We're going to talk about it a lot more in a lot more detail about what happened with Cody. Lots of internet stuff. Everybody's kicking off about it. A lot of people hate the decision. So I guess it will be time to have our say this week on the Raw review. But guys, this has been the SmackDown review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel. Keep it hooked up to our socials at HTT Buckle, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, and all other social media platforms. We're going to be interviewing Alex Windsor this week. We're going to be interviewing Mike Angus this week from Tidal Wrestling. So keep an eye out for those interviews dropping. We're going to be back with AEW Rampage, AEW Collision reviews, as well as the Raw review and Dynamite as we roll on with the week. Until you see us next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe.